In 1935, Hollywood was built on glamour, power, and quiet deals behind closed doors. But there was one rule everyone understood. You don't say no. Because when the wrong people make an offer, it's not really an offer. Now, maybe you think you're different. Maybe you think you're strong enough to stand your ground. You built something of your own. A business, a reputation, a life. And when the suits walk in, you tell them no. Yeah, that's where most stories end. Because what you don't see coming is everything that follows. That's why we created something new. Something built for people who think they can stand alone. The Sidewalk Cafe Security Package. A system designed to protect your business, your home, and your life from opportunities you were never supposed to refuse. No more unanswered knocks in the middle of the night. No more misunderstandings with the wrong people. No more being left outside, exposed, alone. Because when things go quiet, that's when it's already too late. Our advanced detection system alerts you the second trouble walks through your door. Not after the damage is done. Not after the deal is made. The second it starts. And if things escalate, we've got you covered. Because in a world where power decides the rules, you don't get second chances. You get one moment, one decision, and after that, someone else finishes the story. The Sidewalk Cafe Security Package. Because in this business, safety isn't a luxury, it's survival. And if you still think you can handle it on your own, we'll see you in the morning.
Thelma Todd, Hollywood, The Mob, and the Night She Said No. A Pizzaverse Studios documentary. A Palermo Productions original. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent DiPrio. Tear down the velvet curtains. Kill the spotlight. Tonight we're not watching a movie. We're opening a crime scene. In the golden age of Hollywood, there was one rule nobody wrote down because you didn't need to. You don't say no to the mob. But one woman did. Thelma Todd looked straight at the men who owned the shadows of Los Angeles and told them exactly where they could go. Only when I'm dead. The next morning, they found her body. This isn't an accident. It isn't a mystery. It's a message. The Ice Cream Blonde. Thelma Todd wasn't supposed to end up in Hollywood. She was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts in 1906, a schoolteacher with a sharp mind and sharper instincts. She didn't come west chasing fame. She came to win. She entered through beauty pageants, sure, but she wasn't built like the others. She didn't drift through the system. She studied it. By the early 1930s, she was everywhere. Comedy, drama, fast-talking roles alongside the Marx Brothers, Buster Keaton. She wasn't decoration. She was precision. Over 120 films. That's not luck. That's dominance. But Thelma saw something the others didn't. Beauty expires. Ownership doesn't. The business. While everyone else burned through money, Thelma Todd built something real. In 1934, she opened Thelma Todd's Sidewalk Cafe on the Pacific Coast Highway. Not a vanity project. A machine. Ground floor, elite restaurant. Second floor, her private apartment. Third floor, empty. Waiting. That empty space, that attic. That's where the story turns. Because in 1935, Los Angeles wasn't just Hollywood. It was territory. The wrong location. You don't pick the Pacific Coast Highway in the 1930s without attracting attention. That road, that's where money moves. And where money moves, the mob follows. Charles, Lucky Luciano, didn't see a restaurant. He saw infrastructure, elite clientele, political insulation, and an empty third floor, perfect for a gambling operation. It was perfect, and in his world, perfect things don't belong to you, they get taken. The offer. It didn't start with threats. It never does. Nice suits, big tips, compliments. Then the pitch. Let us use the upstairs, we run it. You profit, easy money. All she had to do was unlock the door. That's it. But Thelma Todd wasn't stupid. She knew exactly what that meant. You let them in once. You never get them out. So she said no. The tone changed. No more compliments. Now it's warnings. Accidents happen. Supplies disappear. Faces get ruined. This wasn't business anymore. This was ownership. And she still said no. But the mob wasn't the only danger. Inside her own home, Roland West, partner, lover, liability, a man watching his own life shrink while hers exploded. Jealous, controlling, weak. He locked doors, set curfews, made her beg to enter her own building, while the mob closed in from the outside. West squeezed from the inside. She was trapped. The declaration. Then came the moment. The Trocadero. Packed room, smoke, money, power. And the wrong people at her table. They didn't ask anymore. They told her, "You're opening that third floor." She stood up. No hesitation. No fear. "You're not coming in here over my dead body." Silence. "You don't say that." Not in that world. Not to those men. But she did. And in that moment, the decision was made. The setup. Saturday night. December 14th, 1935. She goes to the party anyway. Dressed like armor, silk, diamonds, mink. If they're watching, let them watch. But inside, she knows. Something's coming. At the party, Pat DiCicco, ex-husband, mob connected. Not a coincidence. They talk. Close, quiet, tense. Nobody hears the words. But everyone sees the shift. She's not laughing anymore. She's calculating. 3:15 a.m. She leaves. The long drive down the dark highway. No lights, no noise. Just the ocean. And whatever's waiting. The locked door. 3:30 a.m. She gets home. Door locked. She knocks, calls his name. Roland West is inside. He hears her. He doesn't move. That decision, that moment, that's the door that killed her. The shadows move. She's alone, but not really. They've been watching, waiting. They know the routine. They know the door stays locked. This wasn't luck. This was timing. Someone approaches, and that's where the world goes dark. She vanishes. Not far, but long enough. Too long. Something happens in that gap. Something violent, something controlled. The body. Monday morning. Garage. Inside a Lincoln. Engine dead. Thelma Todd. Dead. Official story. Carbon monoxide. Case closed. Except nothing fits. The face. Broken nose. Split lip. Bruising. That's not sleep. That's impact. That's a fight. The shoes. Satin slippers. Perfect, clean. No mud, no dirt. But the path to the garage. Mud. Heavy. Impossible to cross clean. So she didn't walk. She was carried. The food. Inside her stomach. Peas and carrots. She didn't eat that. Everyone knew it. And digestion doesn't lie. She ate hours after the party, which means she was alive, in custody, being handled. Which means she was alive, in custody, being handled. The staging. They bring her back, unconscious, broken, put her in the car, turn the engine, close the door, let the gas do the rest. Clean, quiet, professional. The cover-up. District attorney shows up first, not police. Him. Scene gets contaminated. Witnesses forget things. Evidence disappears. Story gets written fast. Too fast. The silence. West forgets. DiCicco smiles. Witnesses disappear. Even her mother goes quiet. Fear spreads and fear wins. Accident. Maybe suicide. Case closed. Truth buried. Body cremated. No second chances. The message. Hollywood understood. You don't say no. Not to them. Not ever. Thelma Todd didn't lose. She refused. And for that, they made her an example. Thelma Todd wasn't reckless. She wasn't careless. She wasn't weak. She was one of the few who understood exactly what was being asked of her. And still said no. That's not tragedy. That's defiance. And in a city built on control, that's the most dangerous thing you can be. This has been Thelma Todd, Hollywood, the Mob, and the Night She Said No. A Pizzaverse Studios documentary. A Palermo Productions original. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent DiPrio. Thank you for watching. For every polished legend, there's a body somewhere behind it. And sometimes, that body still has clean shoes. Thelma Todd. Born in 1906 in Massachusetts, she became one of Hollywood's top comedic actresses in the early 1930s. She worked with major names like the Marx Brothers and Buster Keaton, and appeared in over 100 films. Beyond acting, she was a sharp businesswoman who owned and operated Thelma Todd's Sidewalk Cafe in California. She died in 1935 at just 29 years old under highly disputed circumstances. Charles Lucky Luciano. Born in Sicily in 1897, Luciano became one of the most powerful mob bosses in American history. He helped organize the modern mafia structure and created the National Crime Syndicate. He was later convicted on prostitution charges in 1936, served time, and was eventually deported to Italy, where he died in 1962. Roland West. Film director born in 1885, known for movies like The Bat. He was Thelma Todd's business partner and had a complicated personal relationship with her. He lived next door to her apartment above the cafe and was one of the last known people connected to her the night she died. After her death, he largely withdrew from public life. Pata di Chico. Hollywood agent and producer, and Thelma Todd's ex-husband. Their relationship was reportedly abusive and volatile. He has often been mentioned in theories surrounding her death due to alleged connections to organized crime and his presence around her shortly before she died. Buren Fitz, Los Angeles County District Attorney at the time of Thelma Todd's death. He oversaw the investigation and grand jury proceedings, which ultimately ruled her death as accidental with possible suicidal tendencies. His handling of the case has been criticized and questioned by many over the years.
Tony 911 Pizza Voodoo Doll. When the clowning becomes an emergency, big old Batman tee stretched across the chest. Silver Maltese cross necklace hanging loud like he stole it from a flea market. Glasses slightly crooked. Hair spiked like he stuck a fork in the outlet. Little stitched mouth shaped like he's about to whine. Comes with tiny pins labeled lies, fake stories, 911, transmission, and con man energy. Tony 911 Pizza Voodoo Doll MobTube Emergency Edition. Tired of hearing bogus stories? Want a little peace and quiet? Give this doll a poke and watch the clownery crumble. Perfect for Pizzaverse citizens, truth seekers, and anyone who ever heard Tony say bro in the middle of a lie. Warning, doll may call the cops on you after repeated use. Ladies and gents, you ever met a man who lies so bad you wish you had a mute button? Well, guess what? We made one. Introducing the Tony 911 Pizza Voodoo Doll. Comes fully equipped with a Batman tee, a Maltese cross necklace, and the ability to disappoint you on command. Order now and get a free bottle of Forget About It oil for when you gotta cleanse your house of fake wise guys.
How'd that cross necklace get over your horns? You know the saying, I bet you be sweating like a whore in church, spending too much time trying to hide behind the Bible. Get in front of it, find out that Jesus was a foreigner. Virgin Mary, you would've deported her. Not before your husband found out she was a minor, he'd have ordered her. Him and his buddies would've recorded her, transported her, extorted her, and then sent her to the coroner. You don't get to pray for me. You won't let your heart out of this one. I know that your hate runs deep. God is probably tired of getting name dropped by fake Christians. You don't get to pray for me. You won't let your heart out of this one. I know that your hate runs deep. God is probably tired of getting name dropped by fake Christians. I'm pretty sure that God's annoyed of racists bringing him up. Sick of you chumps showing up to take a sip of the cup. You called the Aztec savages, but the cup, isn't it blood? Isn't the stuff symbolic? Oh, it's different, huh? Introduction to blood sacrifice. He died so you can commit your crimes. Here's the hoping he come back to life. I can't wait to see the face on every single preacher's wife. All them secrets you've been keeping, tell me how you sleep at night. All them evil things you feeling, don't leave cause you be polite. Cause this even and the thieving ain't concealed as recondite. Only a few people know. And you know why they keep it tight. You don't get to pray for me. You won't let your heart out of this one. I know that your hate runs deep. God is probably tired of getting name dropped by fake Christians. You don't get to pray for me. You won't bless your heart out of this one. I know that your hate runs deep. God is probably tired of getting name dropped by fake Christians. Weaponized all of it, don't know what a proverb is. Cherry picking Bible scripts, oh my God. Arrogance, lying in the Lord names ain't honoring. Pride leading the blind again, oh my God. You must be drunk off the blood of Christ. Or maybe you just back hitting the hooch again. Or back to cosplaying a hooligan. The grift, the crowds to get the dollars like what? Now you forgot where you and your hoochie been? You don't get to pray for me. You won't bless your heart out of this one. I know that your hate runs deep. God is probably tired of getting name dropped by fake Christians. You don't get to pray for me. You won't bless your heart out of this one. I know that your hate runs deep. God is probably tired of getting name dropped by fake Christians.